Welcome to Keith Knight, Don't Tread on Anyone. Here are 4 methods that Jeffrey Epstein used to keep his child trafficking ring undercover for as long as he did. We so often hear about, if this terrible thing were true, we would know about it. Well, not necessarily. Here's how he was able to keep it a secret going back to 1996. 2 girls who were victimized by Jeffrey and Ghislaine Maxwell went to the New York police and said, "We've been victimized, please arrest them." And they said, well, because these happened in Ohio at Les Wexner's house and in New Mexico, we don't have jurisdiction, you have to go to the FBI. So they went to the FBI and actually filled out an official report, yet he was not caught. Here are 4 general ideas on how he was able to keep this a secret. The first method is known as leverage or reciprocity. The general rule is when receiving something of value, we feel morally obligated to return the favor. So, right when Epstein buys his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, he makes a $100,000 donation to the Palm Beach Police Department, in which he becomes friendly with people there. After they received a call from a mother saying my stepdaughter was actually called in to give a massage, she was sexually assaulted, they start a 7-month investigation. And once they raid the house, all the hardware, all the hard drives are gone from the computers. So Epstein was tipped off by first getting in with them by making this donation, getting friendly, and you can always pay people off to give you an idea of what's going on the inside. The second was outright threats. This woman wrote an article in Vanity Fair in 2003 called "The Talented Mr. Epstein." We have an article headline, "Florida State Senator Receiving Threats After Calling for Epstein Investigation," spokesperson says. This woman says that while she was on the phone with Epstein, that he openly said that, "I know you're pregnant. Who's going to deliver your baby? You know what? Don't tell me. I know all the doctors and all the hospitals. I'll be able to find out, and I'll..." And then she goes on to say that he threatened to engage in witchcraft against her just to scare her. But we also have the police officer in the bottom right-hand corner say that of the 46 victims in Florida alone, that doesn't count Ohio, New Mexico, New York, and Paris, and the Virgin Islands. And the bottom right-hand corner gentleman says that while he was defending and getting stories on these 46 victims, that Epstein would have private investigators go try to intimidate the witnesses. And in one case, he actually has this all on camera. The private investigator goes to the victim's house in the middle of the night, shines his brights into their window, and starts taking pictures. And then when he sees the private investigator, he just starts taking pictures of him. The guy wasn't even scared. So open threats is another method used to keep a story under wraps. This is how evil can stay out of the light. He also used blackmail. This is according to Virginia Roberts and another woman in the Filthy Rich documentary, where they say that in one of the rooms, and they actually point to a place at the Manhattan residence, that he had cameras installed in all the rooms, and he was collecting all the footage of what went on in those rooms, sexual acts, many with underage girls. Raw Story says Epstein was running a blackmail scheme under the cover of a hedge fund. New York Magazine reports on Wall Street speculation. That is Virginia Roberts with Prince Andrew and Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein even stayed friends afterwards. Now, when it was going to be exposed that the prince was involved with this guy, Amy Robach, who was doing a story with ABC, was actually contacted by the palace, according to her, in this hot mic moment. She didn't know she was being filmed. So going on with the blackmail method of silencing people, she says, "So do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because, do you want it? He made his whole living blackmailing people." So this is widely accepted by many victims and people who have done intimate research in the matter. And finally, outright payoffs. Giving people the financial incentive is a great way to keep a story under wraps. This is what we have to understand when researching conspiracies and the nature of the mindset of, "Oh, please, that can't be real. I would have heard of that, of course. That couldn't have been kept a secret." Palm Beach Post. Epstein paid 3 women $5.5 million to end underage sex lawsuits. We have the lawyer in the upper right-hand corner who goes through an entire map of who was involved and how they paid off these girls and how they paid people to stay silent. We have The Sun reported that Robson told filmmakers she rebuffed Epstein's advances, one of his potential victims, but he said he would pay her $200 to bring some of her friends over to meet him. So that is just another method of telling people, hey, even though you want to do the right thing and tell on me, here is a big financial incentive to not do so. So those are some methods that we can hopefully learn from and understand that evil is able to operate in the darkness. Thank you for watching Keith Knight, Don't Tread on Anyone.